Hi, I'm Maya, and I drew a picture as an entry to a DMC contest, which stands for Draw My Character. Hope you enjoy! The character I'm drawing is named Xiang. Xiang? Xiang.
Xiang. Xiang.
I'm so sorry. She's not my character, she belongs to Yume Tenshi on a website called Scratch. I'll put a link to her reference in the description of the video. Xiang is really cute, so I was very excited to draw her, but I struggled with this piece a lot because I didn't know what I wanted to go for right at the beginning. It's my own fault for not thumbnailing. I'm a fool. I was going to make it sunny outside, but by the end it turned out to be completely dark. In Xiang's description, it said that she likes biking, so I was going to draw her riding a bike, but I got overwhelmed, so I just put the bike behind her, and in the final piece, you can barely see it. Pretty much the only idea I was certain of is that I wanted it to feel like you, the viewer, are talking to the character, because I see a lot of drawings like that, and I wanted to try it. So she was riding a bike through the city when she ran into you, and then you were walking across the bridge together and it started to rain, and Xiang looked at the sky and went, "Huh? Is it raining?" And you were like, "Yes." And that's the story. By the way, sorry for all the awkward pauses during this video. I didn't expect to get so nervous in front of a microphone, and my mind is blank right now. All interesting comments are gone. I hope the audio turns out okay for this. I keep leaning away from the mic, and I'm not sure if it's picking me up well. This is my second time recording, because the audio was too quiet the first time around. Something about drawing that I just cannot figure out is how to make both of the eyes look in the same direction. My characters always end up cross-eyed, or like one eye is drifting off to the side, especially when I want them to look at something they're holding. So I rely heavily on the liquify tool to scoop my eyes into the right position. I love Xiang's outfit so much. It has kind of a fantasy princessy feel to it to me. And I was worried that it wouldn't fit in well with the city background that I added later, but I think it turned out okay, and she doesn't look too out of place. I loved drawing the bows on it, and I struggled a lot with her right sleeve, as you can see. It looks so fake, and I gave it my best shot. Her hair reminded me of Ganyu's hair from Genshin Impact, so I used her as a reference. If it ends up looking really similar, that's why. I love how fluffy it turned out. I usually draw hair that's very straight and thin, so drawing fluffy hair was a little difficult at first. I retry so many times here. Oh, usually when I draw characters with the ahoge, I always forget to add it, but I remembered it this time, and I'm so glad I did because it's very cute. Sometimes I wish that my hair could do that in real life. Now I'm starting to block in the background. I was going to have her be at the beach with a city in the background at first, but the ocean just seemed really vast and lonely and kind of creepy, so I changed it to a city with a street. I sped up the cleanup sketch a lot because you've already watched me draw the same thing 3 times and you don't need to see it again. It's not that interesting. I really struggle with drawing pretty color schemes and environments from imagination, so I often end up just trusting the process and hoping I get lucky. Actually, the whole theme for this channel was drawn on a whim. I wish I had planned ahead a little more before starting my first video, because I realized when I started editing it that I wanted to draw a lot of graphics for it. Like the little doodles in the beginning, I drew them up really fast and put them in there temporarily because I want to make better ones in the future. But I didn't want to do it for this video because I kind of wanted to just get one under my belt and test the waters a little bit. I was surprised at how difficult it was to edit a video. It's harder than it looks. Lately, line art has been really stressful and tedious for me. I used to enjoy making my lines super precise, but I decided to go easy on myself this time and just do a super clean sketch using my line art brush. The brush I used, by the way, I think is called Froggy Shading and Lines from the Clip Studio Asset Library. Like the name suggests, I do use this for lines and shading. It is kind of a soft, round brush, and it's super helpful for getting any kind of texture that I need. I try to be more careful and detailed with my lines towards the face because that's the focus of the piece, but with the lines on the dress and sleeves, and especially in the background, I'm very sloppy with my line art, because those pieces won't be looked at as much. I blacken the character with a solid gray color so that I can clip my shading layers to it later. And I like to paint the background before I shade the character to give me a feel for the environment that she's in. Here comes the actual background. I've put in some squares and found this reference for the general vibe of colors that I wanted. Like I said, I'm really bad at coming up with this on my own. The finished picture turned out quite different from the reference, but it gave me a good base to work off of. I used a perspective ruler to draw the buildings, but at this point I had scaled the image up to crop it closer to the character, so I couldn't use the ruler anymore. So I freehanded the windows, and that's why they look all wonky. Luckily, when it's blurred out, it's not too noticeable. Now I'm blocking in the colors for the character. I love her color scheme so much, it's all of my favorites. Blue and pink and yellow all together. And the orange of her dress reminds me of ice cream for some reason, like those little orange push-up frozen pops. Very good, very tasty. Shading the skin is probably one of my favorite parts of drawing. The shadows here are kind of nonsensical, because I didn't have a pre-planned light source for the piece. So I just kind of put them where they look like they should go. I've been experimenting with different styles of eyes lately, and I made the pupils really small in this piece. Not really sure how to explain what I'm doing here, just putting a lot of shadows and highlights into the eyes, I guess. The eyes of the character is probably the part with the most layers on it, but the hair is the part that takes the longest to do. I think I have about 3 or 4 layers of shadows for the hair. When I shade blue hair, I'll shift the hue closer to purple, but this time I moved it more to green because Xiang's hair looked a little more teal. Drawing the little halo-shaped highlight on the top of the head is really hard for me because if I put it in the wrong place, it can make the head look really deformed. But I love it when the hair looks all shiny. I think I'm able to simplify skin and hair pretty well, but when it comes to clothes, I'm not that practiced in it, so all my clothes end up having really realistic shading compared to the hair and skin. I just don't know how the shadows work well enough to simplify them, I guess. Shading the orange part of her dress took so many tries. I wasn't sure if the yellow part was supposed to be metal, but I made it metal because I like drawing metal. It's very shiny. And I completely made up where I thought the shadows should go on this shawl thing. I'll be honest, I had no idea what I was doing. Now I put a dark bluish purple multiply layer over the character and erase parts of it to bring her out of the shadow and into the light. I finally decided on a light source. I wanted to have her under a street light that's to the left of her. And there's another one that's to the right of her, but it's farther away, so it doesn't cast so much light. In hindsight, I made the hand much too bright. It kind of sticks out. Now I add more of an orange and purple look to her. And I tried to follow a tutorial for a rain effect, but the rain was much too heavy. She probably shouldn't be riding a bike in that much rain, that's really dangerous. I add some glow to the piece because I am a monster who can't be controlled. I fix the rain to make it a little lighter. I adjust the contrast, add some shadow, some blur, and then chromatic aberration. I just learned that word, and I feel so smart. And the splashes of the rain, because I forgot how rain works. And I'm done. Here's the finished piece. Thank you for watching till the end. I hope this video turns out good. It's my first time making a video, but I tried my best. I'd like my editing to be smoother and my commentary to be more interesting. So if you have any tips, could you leave a comment below and help me out? I'd really appreciate it. I don't know how to end this. Bye!